Hi all and welcome back to my channel. It's Amanda and I'm here today with another cooking video. It's Saturday, so that means steak night. 4 components to steak night: steak, cheese-baked egg, avocado, and rice. Normally I do everything simultaneously, but for purposes of this video, I'm going to do it one by one. For this cheese-baked egg, the idea originated from an Atkins recipe. My mom was on Atkins like 15, 20 years ago. I don't think this is the original recipe. I've kind of finessed it over the years, but I love this thing and I make it like every single week. The Atkins recipe, I know there was a base of egg and heavy cream. I don't remember what else was in it. I think there might have also been Bisquick in it, but I don't use that. What you will need: garlic powder, adobo, onion powder, oregano, and paprika. Kerrygold butter. According to Irish law, you have to grass feed your cows at least 4 months a year, so it's partially grass fed and it's just a good quality butter. Heavy cream, organic cream, and organic milk. A lot of heavy creams do have fillers and gums in them, so I try to avoid those whenever I can. Parmesan cheese, green Tabasco. I bought it in the 1 gallon jug, so I put it in smaller containers to use it as I need it. A pat of butter in each ramekin. The size of the pat of butter varies a little bit. I forgot the most important ingredient: eggs. Not that you would try, but try very hard not to break the yolk, because the yolk at the end is one of the things that makes this thing so great. If you like egg yolk. If you don't, then it's the thing that ruins it. And I just actually cracked one of the egg yolks, so that one will not be mine. Garlic powder. I do like to go from the finer to the thicker. Just makes sense in my head. Cleanup tip, and I'm not doing that because I'm using a cutting board. I sprinkle from up high because it provides a little bit of the sprinkle's a little bit more fanned out by the time it reaches it, so it's better coverage, whereas if you're right there, you're not hitting all the areas at the same time. I would put saran wrap on the counter, and you just pick up the saran wrap and throw it out when you're done. Adobo seasoning, onion powder, paprika. Mia, you just ran into my tripod. And then oregano, green Tabasco. I've substituted before for Frank's Red Hot and for this Trader Joe's jalapeno pepper hot sauce. Red ripened jalapeno peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. I've never used red Tabasco. I think that would make it way too spicy. But if you like really, really spicy and a completely different flavor actually, then go for it. Parmesan cheese. I have some grated from last night, so I'm gonna put that in, and then I'm going to use a little arm muscle and use my microplane zester. You could also use pecorino romano. That's a good substitution, although second best. I still have heavy cream in here, but it's not coming out of the carton for some reason, so I'm gonna go get another one. Organic grade A cream and gallon gum. Next, I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit more cheese. A little bit more Tabasco. I'm gonna put these in the fridge until I am probably about 30 minutes out. I'm just about to fill the sous vide. I need it to come up to 125 degrees to give myself a little bit more room to heat and still have a really, really good tender, around 129, 130 degree steak. I do 125. I've tried everywhere between 124 and 127. 125 has been the best. This is the sous vide container. This is the sous vide itself. Or I think they call it an immersion circulator. There's 2 really good brands. There's Anova and there's another one. I'm gonna link this one below if you're interested. There's a minimum line here. So you fill it between here and there. That says max at the top. I like to do my steaks for probably 2 hours, but I can get away with doing them for an hour. And then all you do is plug this in. You can sit it anywhere you want as long as you can reach the outlet. I used to use vacuum seal bags exclusively, but I have instead just been doing this because it's a lot easier. I'm gonna put the steaks in here, push the air out with the water. It's already at 125, so I'm just gonna press play. I need to clean that screen. Very inconvenient, but despite how much I cook, I do not like touching raw meat, so I will not be touching raw meat. These will be ready to go as soon as the sous vide reaches 125. So I'm gonna take the bag of steak, plop it in here, and then I'm gonna get something that's not my hand push it down in there, and as I do that, the water is creating a seal. You put it in and it takes the air out, just like a vacuum seal would, but not as strong, obviously, because it's not something done under pressure. I am going to just have this on the outside because you don't want the thing that you're making to be right up against the circulator, because it will restrict the flow of heat that's regulating the temperature. I am going to be making a marinade that I'm going to put this in at the end. I used to put the marinade in that, but trial and error, I tried over the last couple of weeks to add that as the last step because I think it might retain a little bit more of the flavor when I sear it, and it does. This is going to be the marinade that I'm going to, I don't want to say soak because that sounds gross, but that I'm going to put the steak in Coleman's English mustard. And to activate this isn't something I've discovered, it's just literally on the packaging. You mix it with water. My mother used to mix it with milk. I don't know where she got that from, so for a while I was doing that, but I find that it tastes the same whether you use milk or water. I've got my mustard, a little bit of adobo seasonings, regular olive oil, red wine vinegar. Then I'm just gonna sit this in the fridge until I'm ready for it later. I'm not gonna record me making the rice. I'm just gonna tell you how I do it. It seems like a lot of extra work for very little gain. This is my new rice, I don't know what you call it, but you use it for straining rice. So you put the rice in here. Layla, I can explain it. Thank you. So you put the rice in here, and then you just pour this way so the water comes out here, the rice stays in here. I'm using organic white short grain or sushi rice. I'm gonna do 3.5 cups of rice, slightly more, not really a measured thing, just slightly more than 3.5 cups of water. I am going to toast the rice in the pot with some avocado oil and or some ghee. And then once it's toasted for like maybe 5 minutes or so, I'm gonna pour it in the water, bring it to a boil, bring it down to a simmer for about 20 minutes, and that will be it. What we normally do on the weekends is we have Aiden eat before us, so I'm actually gonna be taking his steak out first. Here's the bag of 5 cooked steaks. Got the nice seasonings on it. Chop this dry. Just enough for the one steak. And toss it in here. Now I'm just going to turn it around and cover it with the marinade. When you see the smoke coming out of the cast iron, that means it's ready. So now I'm going to put in some avocado oil and then let that sit for maybe like 20 seconds or so to heat that up. I have it on medium right now. I'm gonna move it between medium and high. When you take the steak out of a sous vide, you're not getting that carryover cooking that you get when you cook it on the pan. So this steak, when I took it out, it was at an internal temperature of 125. I usually do like 1.5 minutes per side to get a really good sear and let it sit for 4 or 5 minutes. Time to flip. You can do a mixture of oil and garlic and thyme and all that kind of stuff if you want to. You would sear the first side and then flip it over, and then as the other side is cooking, spoon it over as it cooks. So let's get in here. I put the steak on for the juices to settle, but I put it under my heat lamp, so that continued to cook it in addition to the carryover cooking. So if it is slightly past medium rare, that's why. This is Aiden's steak. Don't tell him. I'm gonna give it a shot. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know why I said wow. I know what this tastes like. Every week when I have this, I say wow again because it is that good. So that's a pretty good medium rare. It's a thinner cut, so I only did it for probably a minute each side, and we're good to go.